The league, which is simply like no other, is ready to continue its roll towards Abu Dhabi and round 21. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. My name, of course, is the voice of WXL since day one, LCR Nuthead. And sadly today, I am on my own for this one. There is no co-com today with Tom. Unfortunately, a family emergency has made him pull out of this one. But nevertheless, you've got me for around about the next hour and a half or so, or 2 hours, as we had to do with last week at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, where, of course, we saw Jolly take a dominant victory for Carlin and for Williams as well, to close up on championship leader KJ Gamer to only what I believe is going to be 8 points between the two. 70 points for championship leader KJ Gamer, 62 for Jolly in second. And I want to start off, I'm going to say this out now in the open whilst we are live on stream. We've just literally kicked off, but I would like to formally apologise to a certain someone for an incident last week which I did in actual fact misinterpret, shall we say. Coming out of the final corner onto the final lap as Jolly took the checkered flag, Shazoo Julian looks about to take a brilliant P2 on his debut. And of course, if you are unaware, Shazoo Julian and KJ Gamer, of course, members of the same esports team as is Jolly. And it looked very fishy because what had happened was you saw Julian slow down and hit the wall and hugged the wall on the left. KJ took past on the right. When he was about 4 seconds back, it just looked dodgy, and I called it Austria 2002 here in WXL. But it wasn't that, it was just that Julian had a puncture, and sadly, my eye could not spot that. So first of all, I would just like to say I am sincerely sorry to Julian. I know this has caused him massive upset, and ever since then, he has now been controversially third. He has put onto his gamer tag. But yeah, like I say, I'd like to just take my moment to briefly apologise for that. But the action will continue here today, and we will not stop for stuff like that. But we're here, of course, at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, for what sets to be a brilliant hour or so in, like I say, the league that is simply like no other. With F2 qualifying up first, of course, as per usual here in WXL, we're always set for action from lap 1 right up towards the end of lap 33 in the F1 race, of course. We've got the qualifying first up, and of course we have to have a look at what happened in the last time we travelled. It was Jolly who took the pole position in that. He wasn't on pole for the race though, however. That went to a surprise entry in the end. It was a close battle as well between Ilar Bottas and KJ. Both the Dams drivers looked very close as well. KJ sort of picking up the F2 side of things. And fair play, we have to give a shout out Ilar Bottas. He has now turned offline as of this Grand Prix. So it might be difficult for him to repeat them antics, but you never know. You know, some people are very fast learners. I'm most certainly not one of them. So we have to wait and see how he can get on here today as well. And of course, get your thoughts on in the chat, if anyone is in the chat as per usual, to let me know their thoughts, as Petey's come in and said hello. My good old friend at Team LCR, I hope he's doing very well today, and best of luck to him out in the Trident and the Toro Rosso, alongside, of course, a new member to Alien Motorsport just last week, signed the deal, AMS Dasher. Pleasure to bring him, as he officially has changed his gamer tag. Of course, he was formerly known as TR Dasher and the Foreman Season 1 title contender. And we're just waiting for the green light to get underway for this one. We're just waiting for the final few drivers to make their way into the lobby. We've got 14 at this very moment, which is much better than what we used to get. Of course, as I mentioned earlier in my tweet, we used to get very small grids indeed, but they have massively increased now, as I just had the message from the chat saying that Callum's apparently at football, so it's time to get ready and go. And a fun fact, I did a bit of research before we got underway for this one now, and the highest ranked person in the lobby in terms of time trial in the Formula 2 cars is actually the Italian F1 Giangi, the MP Motorsport driver for this weekend. Of course, it's in actual fact a reserve and sits himself in third place in the championship at the moment with 43 points, only 3 points clear of the steady Eddie of WXL in LCR PT. We'll be interested to see if he can back that up today in the Formula 2 cars as well. But we're just waiting for the final few drivers to click their ticks as the 10, 9 and 8 counts right down to 0. Of course, we have no of the full-time Red Bulls. I mean, the Russian time is occupied by Paraquix, the Dutchman, in the reserve as well. And of course, we'll have a full list of reserves. We're just about to get away for the one-shot qualifying to decide the order for the qualifying race here in WXL Spain. Of course, it's very difficult because usually I'd have Tom here to talk about stuff, but sadly I don't this weekend, so I just have to kind of go with it of what we've got. But yeah, we're just now jumping into the lobby. And well, like I said, if you're in the chat, let us know your thoughts. Who do you think is going to take the opportunity to grab the first, the qualifying pole position, shall we say, of this race? Of course, Brumson in the chat saying he's going to be the Jeff for Dasher, and PT in the chat as well. RT coming in saying, oh no. That's not a good sign to say anything. I don't know if that means we've got weather conditions or what. Of course, we will hopefully receive the weather as soon as we get it for the qualifying race. It's a bit overcast here in the one-shot quali, but doesn't look as if it's going to sign any rain, because of course it's only about a minute 40 we get round here, around this track, so it shouldn't really come into play, really. But the guys just now ticking. We're getting ready to go for the lap, and I know exactly who I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch last time's winner, and of course pole sitter after winning the 5-lapper race last time out in Jolly. Let's go on board with a Carlin for a lap of this Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya here in Spain, after what was now one of the most controversial races in WXL last season. Now file down towards turn 1. We're on board with Jolly. To DRS wide open, 6th gear, going to get himself maybe in the 7th just about, as he now breaks just after the 100-metre board, now towards turn 1 and then turn 2. Gets that nicely on the exit as well. Now through the long turn 3, which continues for a long, long time, especially with F2 cars. In the F1, it feels a hell of a lot shorter, as Jolly once said to me before, it's all like you're blooming going in a time warp when you drive in the Formula 1 cars after doing this, because you feel so slow all of a sudden. You feel so quick when you get in the F1 cars. Jolly currently sits 2nd, Jan, you're currently on pole, Vapid and Aaron Batch plays. We have lost just in the first 4 corners of this lap. Now towards turn 5 and towards just the 15th there, sorry, 6, sorry. Now here's 7 and 8 as Adam Lee has been disqualified for parked in a dangerous location. Now Jolly coming through a flat out turn 9, gets that nicely. 2nd DRS zone now goes open down towards turn 10, close at the moment to himself and Janji. KJ sits 3rd, the no line Bottas sits 6th, and currently you have to say the two Trident team look very well in 3rd and 6th at the moment. Jolly jumps back up the pole position. They now come around towards the final sector, his final sort of nesting of corners really, as he now comes round the long turn 12 towards 13, the RACC corner. Now towards the chicane for the only time, of course, in the one-shot quali. Gets that nicely, gets the exit as well. Now towards Catalunya corner at turn 16. That's all about just watching the time tick on as he now comes up towards the line. The DRS goes open, and Jolly is on pole for the F2 race. Jandy comes home 2nd, KJ in 3rd. Didn't quite get much through the rest of the grid, but the man we watched for the entire lap has put himself on pole. Jolly has got the prime seat. So here is your grid for it. So Jolly on pole position at the end, quite dominant through the final sector, 3/10 clear of F1 Jandy in the MP Motorsport car. KJ takes P3 once again, 2nd week in a row he's qualifying that position for the 5-lapper. PT starts from 4th with Dasher in 5th, and the 2 Tridents line up in 4th and 5th. AMS Pred steals it in the end from Vylar Bottas into P6 and 7. Paraquicks P8 with Troll in P9. And no times come in the end for Aaron Bat's place, Vapid, Coup, Adam Lee, Alfa Rati and F1 Gravity round out the 14-man grid we have for the qualifying race here in WXL. And once again, I have to reiterate in this instance, there is no point up for grabs for taking the checkered flag in this. This is all to determine the grid for the Formula 1 race. But it's time for 5 quick laps of flat-out racing that makes this league simply so unique. And well, no rain as of yet. It's all dry. As Brumson currently saying, Dasher LCR Peter, not PT, Peter will win. Isla Bottas won a no line. Yep, I said that. No line is for losers and me. I'm not a loser, says Bromson. I'm not too sure about that one. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe someday we have to do a cheeky little dirt rally race there. Bromson, because we never got to have that one. But nevertheless, the ticks are now coming on. We're getting ready for the 5 red lights here in the 5-lapper one. Of course, like I said, I'm all alone here today. Just myself, LCR Nuthead in the combox. And we bring you 5 laps of flat-out racing. Then we'll have a brief interval while we set up the F1 lobby. And then once we get going, it'll be from lap 1 to lap 33 of flat-out, no-stop racing. But first thing first, we've got to determine who is going to be on pole position. And we're ready to get that underway just now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and the F2 race in WXL is off. In Catalunya, it's a fairly stally start to be expected. There's all the wheel spin comes immediately, and Prig gets straight off dash down towards turn 1, side by side between Janji and KJ, and they far down towards turn 1 and 2 the left on, PT the mountain trying to turn to the bomb. for the try, and they're 3-1 down. Oh, massive crash! Janji, PT and KJ all coming in, but KJ somehow managed to get the car around the track. They're all going round us. Janji and PT both spinning off. They somehow managed to make it work. Aaron Butts plays the fast step on Gravity, was also off at the exit of turn 2. Isla Bottas also involved in that. Absolutely crazy start. They've seen the likes of Dashu off to third, Pred go off to fourth, so AMS P3 and P4, yellow flag, they're still waving. Troll is trying to defend against Paraquix in the Russian time, the reserve, the long way around through towards turn 4 for the man in the Prima car. Can he do it down towards 5, side by side they go for P6. Oh, bit of contact there with Shiro's team in front of Adam Lee, and now goes Vapid as well, as they both try and take advantage. The man, of course, represents Shiro's and Ferreno as well, and in the end, Adam Lee's addition to Paraquix, Vapid gets ahead of Troll after the contact. Bottas might now see an opportunity to try and get past him very shortly. But here goes the front leaders. Jolly is already 1.5 seconds clear at the front of the field, down towards turn 10. Alfarati has gone off in well with the exit of turn 9. The BWT car had an awful stint there, through towards 11 and 12. It still remains the same at the front with Jolly in the lead, KJ second, Dasher third, Predit fourth, and then comes Paraquix, Adam Lee and Vapid go to train. Well, Vapid has actually got past as Adam Lee is actually off there at turn 12. Off goes the Shiraz Racing Cars team, the reserve driver, of course, for them. Aaron Butts plays for tyres, which he'll start at the back of the field at the moment. Adam Lee's still off and now trying to get himself back going, but up towards the lead as we go. Jolly leads by 2 seconds at the end of lap number 1. Ahead of KJ, ahead of Dasher, ahead of Pred, as they fall down towards turn 1 for the second time already. This has been absolutely chaotic, as per usual, in the Formula 2 qualifying race. It never fails to amaze me, but meanwhile Dasher is looking for a way past his old champion rival of Season 1. The old rivals collide. The legends, you have to say, as Alfarati goes out of the session in the BWT car, and was teammate as well on the back of the battle between KJ and Dasher. Dasher has gone to the inside through towards 3, down towards 4, Predator's made it 3-1, surely not, he backs off behind, Dasher's still trying to get down the inside, and the Shizu member, side by side they go through towards 4, Pred going to try and follow his AMS teammate through, as they slide them back in, Predator goes back to the outside, down towards turn 5, round the outside goes the BWT, goes down the inside, he goes on the car, on the Trident, and I don't think he can quite find the way past. They're still side by side through towards the Kink at 6, now towards 7 and 8, and Pred is still on that inside line, but Dasher trying to swoop around the outside, incredible racing between the Italian and the American, and in the end, Dasher somehow manages to hold on to that position despite all of the battle and every single opportunity that Pred tried to take. He couldn't do it. Now down towards 10, he's still trying to look on the outside and has the outside line as an advantage here. Still can't quite find the way past. KJ is 3.5 seconds already behind Jolly in the race lead. Meanwhile, Janji trying to find a way past Troll, of course, the man that won the Bahrain Grand Prix. He passes Troll, and Peter goes, I'll have a piece of that action as well, and goes straight on through as well. Troll now down to 10th, of course, doing his best to represent the lone teammate. Of course, Amax plays out of the session in this qualifying session to representing them on his own in the Prima car. But down towards turn 1, Jolly unsurprisingly goes fastest, 30.9. DRS now enabled, and they file down towards 1 and 2. Dasher is under pressure here from Pred. 2 AMS teammates, of course, the new boys at AMS, you have to say. Dasher has spent about a week there. Pred has spent less than that for the 2. As meanwhile, Adam Lee is going to find a way past Troll. F1 Gravity also trying to find a way past him as well. Down towards turns 1 and 2. Battle for P11. Contact between the 2. And the Gravity in the ART car goes spinning off at the exit of 1. Not what you want to see at all. Now through towards turn 5 they come with the leaders. This is on board as Pred goes a bit deep, and Paraquix wants to see an opportunity. Dasher locked up behind KJ as well. Those lot really starting to show struggles, and look who's at the back of the strap. The Dutchman of Paraquix, the reserve representing the Russian time here today, is the lone Russian time driver, because of course neither the full-time drivers, Squidgy and Kinley, are actually here today. Round towards 9 they come, all 4 of them in this train. Pred a bit squeamish on exit. Jandy gets a time penalty. We're down towards turn 10. The DRS wide open for the American on KJ Gamer. Can he do it a long way round for the Trident car? Has he got the nerve to try and hold his own? He's going to try and do it now towards... Oh, contact between the 2. KJ goes off. Dasher also goes off. Paraquix and Pred go straight on through. Incredible scenes as the 2 old rivals, the old bitter rivals, Bottas now goes back with his teammate as well. Turmoil for Dabs. Turmoil for the old rivals of Season 1. Incredible stuff. There's now seen Jolly and Pred be on the front row with Paraquix right behind Pred. Isla Bottas got himself back going again towards P12. An absolutely drama-filled race in this 5-lap. As you can see, look at the position changes. Vapid up from 11th to 4th. Paraquix up from 8th. Pred is up from 6th onto the front row of the grid. But for how long will he be? Because Paraquix is right on the back of him. Meanwhile, a battle that you usually expect to see towards the front. F1 Janji, KJ Gamer, and LCR PT battle away for P5. Janji gets a bit of oversteer out of turn 2, down towards 3. KJ setting different lines, but the MP Motorsport car wise to blocking that one off as well. What about the Trident behind? They're both gone off through towards 4. KJ now tries up the chin on the inside line. He's going to try and dart it. He is not able to just yet in this one. Now around the outside goes PT. Can he turn opportunity on that one? Not just yet. Through towards 5. He's still closing. KJ tries to break the latest. Think he's got the nerve. He hasn't quite just yet. Back up towards the battle between Pred and Paraquix. And a battle here through towards turn 9. Jolly, by the way, is 7.3 seconds in the lead. Here goes. However, the Russian time on the BWT car down towards 10. Paraquix good. Left, right. Still can't quite find a way past. Not just yet. Meanwhile, what's happened here? KJ has lost it again out of turn 9. We did miss that because, of course, I didn't have the camera on. He's now down to 7th. PT up to 6th in this one. Incredible stuff here in this qualifying race. It's in so many position changes. But one thing that hasn't changed is the man in P9 and the man at the front of the field as he begins the last lap. As Carlin again, Jolly goes fastest, 30.5. Down towards turn 1, overcomes this battle. Pred got to fend with all he's got, but just remember, there's only the qualifying race, there's no points to be scored here, but down to 1. The Russian time is going to go to the left, as indeed Pred has well and truly gone defensive for the BWT car. Round the outside goes the Russian time on Pred. Has he got nerve to hold it through towards 2? I think he just about has. Pred still holding his own though through towards 3. Incredible bit of defending, an incredible bit of attacking as well. Now he's going to try and take the different line through towards 4. Here goes Paraquix on AMS Pred, and the qualifying race is incredible stuff. Brilliant race car between the two, side by side through towards 4. Can they do it down towards 5? Paraquix still on the outside, and it'll still be the outside for turn number 5 as well. Long way round for the Dutchman against the Italian. They come together a little bit. They're still trying to battle away for this front row seat, and they're still through towards the King and 6. Now up through 7 and 8. They are still side by side. The Russian time in the end has to concede defeat because Pred got the much better exit on the inside line. Absolutely mesmerising stuff between the two. Now through towards the secondary at turn 10. Pred has got a poor exit. Here goes Paraquix on the outside line for the front row of the grid. This is only for P2 in the race, but they might as well battle as if it's for a championship on the line. Round the outside goes Paraquix. He gets on the curb, and that is surely that. Bottas goes out of the session. We go on board with Jolly because he is only a few corners away from taking the qualifying race victory. What a display it's been from all of these men. But Jolly has just held his nerve, and by look at the gap, 9.3 seconds, wins the qualifying race for the Formula 1. He is on pole position. Pred, after a brilliant bit of defending between the two, is going to start from P2. KJ has just lost 2 positions to Dasher and Adam Lee. In the end, Paraquix actually takes it due to the time penalty Pred picked up, and Paraquix starts P2, Pred P3, Vapid P4, PT jumps Janji due to time penalties. Adam Lee is going to come home P9 because KJ jumps himself and Dasher into P7. What a qualifying race that was. And that well and truly says that there is no other league that does it quite as good as WXL. What a qualifying race that was. Well, the job's not done just yet for Jolly. He's got the primacy of the pole, and he may have won by 9.5 seconds, but it still doesn't matter. He still is only on pole position for the F1 race. He's still not scored any championship points despite the celebrations here today. Paraquix with a phenomenal job to come home P2, and Pred, despite the excellent defending on the last lap, couldn't quite hold on to the P3 due to penalties. Fair play to all 3 of them men, and fair play to everyone. That has well and truly put a great start to this weekend in WXL. So Jolly is on pole, Paraquix from P8 to P2, and then from Pred from P6 to P3, and did actually finish the line in P2, but due to the time penalty, will have to start in P3. Vapid, in the end, comes home P4 with PT bringing home P5 in the end after the recovery. Janji, despite starting second, is going to start 6th. KJ in 7th, Adam Lee 8th, Dasher 9th, and Trolled running at the top 10. That's on the top 10. We have 4 men: F1 Gravity, ILR Bottas, Alfarati, and Aaron Batts Plays ran out the 14, and potentially 15 because I think Wastel will jump into the lobby. But that was absolutely superb to commentate on. I hope you guys enjoyed that just as much as I did, because I well and truly was on the edge of my seat for that. And now we get ready to begin the Formula 1 race, but we just have a brief break whilst they set up the lobby to get ready to go again. But absolutely superb stuff. You have to say, between all of us, that was well and truly what we anticipated. But at turn 1, it just looked like as if they tried to go 3 wide. Janji sort of tried to close the door to try and defend against KJN, and they all came together. Everyone was off, and that was well and truly the end of that one. But we're just waiting to get the official F1 grid up and running. And whilst in the meantime, let's just briefly talk to you about the championship scenario for you. So as mentioned, as I said at the start of the stream, 8 points separate KJ and Jolly at the top of the table with 70 points for KJ, 62 for Jolly. Janji sits third, a further 19 points back from Jolly and 27 behind KJ as well, if you're not very good at maths. PT is only 3 points behind him, so watch out for a battle there between LCR PT and F1 Janji, the man that I'm going to nickname the Steady Eddie of WXL LCR PT, against the man, of course, that took the checkered flag back at the Bahrain Grand Prix for the Italian, of course, the reserve F1 Janji. F1 Gravity and Callum G currently sit 5th and 6th for the Alfa Romeo team. Of course, only F1 Gravity here today for ART/Alfa Romeo. Vapiku is then on 23 in P7. Of course, he starts on P4 today after a fantastic qualifying. So a good position for him. Dasher, of course, is on 18 points in P8 as well. And Shazoo Julian, who brought on the podium last time out, was on 15 in 9th. And Kinnan 25 rounds at the top 10 with 12 points to his name. But let us know your thoughts, guys, of that race. It was pretty hectic, to say the least. Let me know who you think is now going to come out of the race victory after that absolutely drama-filled qualifying session. Who have you got tipped? In my opinion, you can't really look past Jolly in this one. I'm just seeing a replay of that start, by the way. I'm just now watching it down towards turn 1 and 2. Fortunately, Preda's sent it into the chat. And yeah, it just looks like Janji just closes the door there of PT and tries to defend against KJ, and accidentally kind of then inversely causes all the absolute carnage that was messed at turns 1 and 2. And ultimately, it led to a simply disaster situation. Just waiting to get, of course, we don't have a few guys coming in. We have a Jack Sparrow, AMS Sparshot as he's now known as, jumping into the lobby. As we just wait for a few others to come in. As Bromson, so UK Up Predator says, I got a penalty for the start crash when someone got into me. Yeah, like I said, didn't quite see what fully happened, but now we can understand that. So from what we can see from the replay cameras, is Janji goes across to cover off PT. PT then, of course, has no gaps, so then runs into him, and then that normally collects KJ, and then Preg got collected as well, and apparently he got a time penalty for that for severe collision, and that normally caused all the carnage that happened. But I don't think we can put into effect the time penalty. I imagine it will still be Paraquick second, Pred in third for the race nevertheless. But also as well, of course, any incidents that are put in, they are investigated for next week, so grid drops and stuff can be implemented for next week when we travel, I believe, to Monaco, which is not going to be a fun time at all. You have to say the F2 race is chaotic enough on some of these tracks. Then you put into play the Monte Carlo Grand Prix, and then you really start to make questions as well. But of course, just talking about the teams that we move over to now, of course, everyone now in different cars. So KJ and Bottas were racing for Mercedes now. They were, of course, in the Dams car. They're now in the Mercedes as well. The Ferraris should be Wastel and Joel's, but neither of them are here today. Then you've got Red Bull that was, of course, Russian time, so expect Paraquicks to go in that car, but it doesn't look like he's going to. He's going to the Williams instead. Renault, of course, which is the Campos team, which is Adam Lee and Vapiku. I don't just say Adam Lee is reserve, I didn't mean to say that. Adam Lee is actually full-time for them. And then you've got the Haas team, which, of course, is the Prima Racing team, which is Aaron Batts Players and Trolled. Then you go to McLaren, which of course is represented by MP Motorsport, which is F1 Janji and Eero Ansman. But Ansman is not here today, just Janji in that seat. Then you've got the Racing Point, of course, the BWT. That's the pretty obvious team to put them with. You've got AMS Pred and Alpha Arty, of course, the owner of the league in that one. Alfa Romeo, of course, as well, which is the ART team. You've got Callum G and F1 Gravity, only F1 Gravity here today. The Toro Rosso team, which of course is part of the Trident team. That is Dasher and PT. And finally, at the Williams team, you have the Sparshot and Jolly. Those two are being represented in the Carlin. Sorry, before I get the name out there, Carlin team for those two. I don't know why Jolly has actually gone in the Alfa Romeo. I think that's because Paraquix has gone into the. He's now gone into the Red Bull, which is good. So Jolly can now jump into the Williams car to get this one underway. Adam Lee still needs to pick a car. We have got 15 now, so someone has joined the lobby. I'm not too sure who it is. I think it might actually Sparship. Sorry, I should say. Yeah, I don't think I'll have a voice after Monaco. I think it's fair to say. I think that's definitely what's going to happen. We're just waiting for the official confirmation. Okay, we're just getting ready. We are being informed that race control. We actually have a race start time this time. We don't ever usually have that. We will actually begin the lobby at 8:25. Of course, we will have a formation lap, I believe. For the drivers to manage. Of course, if we don't, then that could be rather worrying. As Adam Lee letting the drivers know to get the group right. Apparently he's on pole, so there you go. Adam Lee, qualifier on pole position for Renault. What a magnificent display from him here today. Fair play to him. He's saying sad times. Nevertheless, we'll have a bad qualifying for you. And of course, once we're on, if we are on a formation lap, which I hope should be on, we'll of course do a full rundown of the grid to let you know who is where on the grid as they begin their way around the formation lap. Just to give you a brief reminder, of course, to give you drivers that have also jumped in because apparently it might get WXL, which will make it a 16-man grid for tonight here at Spain, of course, for this iconic 16-corner circuit, which of course is part of winter testing in real life Formula One, but also a staple on the calendar as well. And we always get exciting racing, league racing. We hope for the same here today after an absolutely dramatic qualifying that's in the grid. Absolutely jumble up all over the place. It is bound to be one for the ages potentially. And now, of course, we're going into further cars, into F1 cars. Because if anyone has noticed, you might not, because I might have actually managed to cover out quite well. I don't quite know the F2 cars quite so well. Especially the first couple rounds, you might have noticed that I don't actually know them that well at all, because I mainly watch F2 just for the drivers, don't really watch it for the teams. So trying to get them right on the days can be challenging, but I hope that didn't come across too much in the stream, but I've just said it out loud now, so if you go back and probably look, you'll probably see that there was one or two mistakes in terms of the teams, but I always get mistakes. I'm just like Crofty, but on steroids. And I think we're just about ready to go because WXL is now in the lobby, and if you're here in the UK, you'll notice that the times are ticking in terms of night time. And well, this is one of the first times in WXL I've actually had to turn my light on at the beginning of the stream because it is getting darker and darker here in the UK. I'm really not looking forward to the days when I can't actually begin the stream without it being absolutely pitch black outside my window, which I don't have to have a good look outside of. Every single time the podium interviews are on, I like to stare into space while the drivers are letting us know and sort of visualise what they see in my head. But enough about me. I'm so much of a psychotic commentator that you never quite know what to expect. You also never know what to quite expect in WXL as well, as we're now getting ready, as 10 seconds is now on, and we get ready to get going once again for WXL Spain, as we're now got 16 drivers on the grid. Sparshot and WXL joining in the lobby alongside the other 14 men who just completed 5 laps of intense racing. As Artie put it in saying that I'm not a psychotic commentator, yeah, I think I'd say so. But that's for other people to judge, shall we say. Let me just get the standings up and ready, and we're just about ready to get going once again. Of course, we have no idea what the weather could be. It could be a wet race. For this one, we're still unaware. Of course, remember rightly to Baku last week, it was actually raining for that one. Light rain from beginning to end, which definitely made it one to watch. But ultimately, it was Jolly who took the victory, and of course, he was on pole position once again, which has been, by the way, he has won all 4 of the last races. All 3 of the last races this weekend. He hasn't won the Grand Prix yet. He might do, you don't know. But he's yet to grab the F1 victory here at Spain. But it's crystal clear skies. The sun is shining on us. It's probably very hot in Spain, which is a country that is used to being hot. Here in central Spain, of course, we're in for Barcelona. Sorry, in southern Spain, I should say, because we're near the sea. as we get ready to get underway once again for round number 5 of this WXL season. For 21 rounds, we continue the championship scrap at the top, only 8 points between Jolly and KJ, and Jolly of course is on pole, and KJ is right down the field in 7th, but of course has the option to go on different tyres. Because strategy now, thanks to the fact that we don't have any implementation of starting on the tyres that you qualify on, it's fairly self-explanatory. Medium to hard will probably be the favoured strategy for this one here today. But we just have to wait to see what the guys start on. Are they going to go for the long game and think of the mediums? Dasher now and PT both ready up, as their Jeff has probably told them, that of course being Bromston, that this is the strategy to go on, this is the tyre to go on. Go out there and try and bring home some points for Toro Rosso and for your respective esports teams. But we're just waiting for the time to tick down. We've got 14, 13 and just about 10 seconds left to go, and hopefully we have a formation lap on for this one as we get ready for hopefully the red light to turn to green and the drivers make their way round on the parade lap. The clock has ticked down to 0. Now we get ready for one light and we are underway for the formation lap, and the grid has been done wrong unless there has been that grid position change, because Pred has remained P2, Paracrix P3. I think has the penalty gone through. Yeah, okay, it has gone through. My apologies. So yeah, Pred will start P2, Paracrix P3. So here is your grid for this Grand Prix. Jolly in the Williams is on pole position with Pred now alongside him in P2. Paracrix in the end has to settle for P3 after disrupting due to a penalty. Vapid Coup with a strong qualifying in P4 after qualifying P11 in the F2 qualifying for the race. PC starts from P5 in the end of F1 Janji in P6, and then comes the championship leader KJ Gamer way down in P7, but he's on the hards like 3 other men including his teammate. Adam Lee is P8 with Dasher in P9, and Troll rounds out the top 10 as well for Haas. Also alongside his teammate a bit further down the field. F1 Gravity, the lone alpha, starts from 11th. Viola Bottas, the teammate of KJ, both on the hards by the way in P12. Alferati in the Racing Point starts in 13th. Varenbats plays in 14th. AMS Sparshot and Wastel were both late into the lobby, which means they start 14th and 15th. Sparshot, of course, teammate to the pole sitter Jolly, and Wastel on his own today as AMS Joel's unavailable. But of course we've got Shazoo members, we've got AMS members, we've got LCR members, we've got ILR members, we've got everything you could possibly need, and we've got a cracking day of racing in action. An absolutely mixed up grid as per usual in WXL. We await for the 5 red lights as the leaders make their way towards the line. Jolly against Pred on the front row, Paracrix against Vapin on the second, PT against Janji on the third. It's well and truly set up for a simply titanic race as Wastel is the final man of 16 as WXL gets ready to create a legacy and make it seen as we fly down towards 1 and 2. As an actual fact, we trolled. Adam Bratz plays as the last man to park his car on the grid. But the leaders have been sitting there for a little while. They've got to wait for the final few cars to park up on the grid, and then wait for the 5 red lights to be turned on by the marshal for 33 laps worth of flat out racing. Who will be the King of Spain and WXL? We have to wait and see as we get ready for the 5 red lights. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and WXL season 4 is off in Spain. It's a good start from Pred. Pretty okay start from Jolly as he gets alongside him down towards turn 1. In the end, there's a far one behind him. Paracrix is going to run away fast down towards turn 1. Side by side goes LCRP and Vapid in the moment down towards 1. Though Pred is right on the back of Jolly. Backs off Paracrix very much trying to get himself well. PT run the outside of Vapid and takes the bunch down the inside of Paracrix. He goes as well. What a start from LCRP from 5th to 3rd in the space of 3 corners. Side by side goes Vapid and Paracrix in the battle as well. Adam Lee is battling with AMS Dasher down towards turn 4. They come for the first time. It's still Jolly who leads. Pred in second. PT up the 3rd. Vapid and Paracrix still in the squad away. Paracrix is now got a bit of a tank snapper and he's off at turn 4. Vapid goes past. PT now side by side with him. Round the outside goes the Renault on the Toro Rosso. Through towards turn 4. So Janji gets past through towards turn 5. That was, I believe, Dasher was a massive tank snapper up towards 7 and 8. They come for the first time. So it's Jolly who leads. Pred in second. PT 3rd. Vapid 4th, Janji in 5th, and Paracrix holding down the 6th with KJ remaining in 7th for now. Through towards 10 they come for the first time. It still remains the same leaders as Paracrix goes to the inside line on Janji. Down goes to the inside line and trying to lunge it on, but Vapid Coup couldn't quite take advantage of the runner there, just about holds on. Does The runner driver, Adam Leader's vision left on gravity as well. Wastel has passed Alfarati as well. Aaron Bat's blades is off and in the wall at turn 12. A massive crash for the Haas. And out goes one of the two Haas's. The other Haas has lost the position. He's down into P12. But at the end of lap 1, Jolly has a 1.2 second lead over AMS Pro. Then comes PT in P3. Vapid holding on to P4. But for how long? Because here goes Jandy to the outside line. Falling down towards turns 1 and 2. Round the outside. Goes to McLaren. As he looks to try and re-empt after a really poor qualifying. Can he have the move done? No, he can't. He has to break off as the VSC is now deployed due to the DNF of Aaron Bat's plays. So a brief calm amongst the storm. And in the end, we get a brief reprieve after I went absolutely nuts on the start. I do apologise if any of you sort of had earphones in at that one. I thought I might as well go all out for this one in Spain. It's always classic Grand Prix in WXL. And it well and truly has had a brilliant start that sees Jolly still hold on to the lead. Fred doing his best to try and hold down second. This VSC restart could be crucial as Paracrixton goes to the back of Janji because Vapid broke heavily. Waiting to go back to racing here. When are we going to go back? Should be any time soon. See the yellow flag still away. The VSC still out and we get ready to go back once again. This safety car restart can make or break your race in a way. Down towards 10. Has anything got the VSC end of time? We are back to racing. Here goes Janji on Vapid. Vapid trying to squeeze him out as he breaks late on towards 10. Right on the inside as possible as you can be. Now squeezing out on the exit. Through towards 11. Vapid's all trying to hold his nerve. Down the inside and can't quite do it. Through towards 12. Incredible move there that sees Janji up to 4. Vapid down. I feel a real squeeze in the end. But Jolly has had a really, really poor start. And that's seen him Pred sort of get within an arm's reach of him down towards 16 for the third time this will be. So the second time as the fast lap comes in for none of them, of course, because the VSC has been out. DRS now enabled. KJ is thinking that away past Paracrix as well, down towards 1 and 2. Is he going to try the move on the inside line? Paracrix has gone to the inside on the defence, I suspect. KJ still wise that as well as Vapid is holding a bit of a train here. Jandy beginning to get away in the distance. Meanwhile, that's Trolled and Waste on the right on scrap through towards 1 and 2. He just wants to hold off. Sparshot is into the pits for a new front wing onto that Williams. So one Williams at the front, the other way down at the back. Meanwhile, Alfarati passed by ILR Bottas for P number 13, that is for between them guys. Paraquix still on the back of Vapid, not quite to find a way past. Pred dropped half a second to Jolly there. PT fancied his chance as well as Gravity leaves the session there. So we have lost F1 Gravity. The man, of course, got the podium at the very first round of WXL. A phenomenal drive by him. Not really had the luck since then. It's almost a fall down the order of the table, but on to lap 3, down the second of the 2 DRS we have here today. PT is very much sensing an opportunity here at the racing point. He's looking a bit weak in the first few laps and might see himself try and find a way past Alan where he gets himself in a P9 who's left on Gravity's AI car through towards the final couple of corners they come through towards the chicane. Jolly now once again got that second and a half lead that he held at the start of this race. Pred gets a massive tank slapper but holds it, and that actually gains him time. Incredible stuff there from the Italian in the racing point. KJ is off at the exit of the chicane. The championship leader has had a disastrous moment. RT goes into the pits. The two owners very nearly come together there, and KJ has now got it all to do. He's down to P14 in this one. Incredible scenes that has seen the championship leader got all of a sudden in all kinds of wrong. Jandy's also going a bit wide at turn 3, but manages to keep it on the track just about. Gravity gets past there by Troll, so Troll now in a P9 thanks to that. But everyone bumped up the position pretty much. Incredible stuff there from KJ Gamer, who has now gone off and caused himself all sorts of trouble. But this freeway train for P2 is really beginning to file up. Janji is very much looking like the quickest of this lot. PT looks a bit of an edge on Pred, but the Sturtier is definitely helping the racing point. Round towards 9, down towards 10 they come. DRS now going to go wide open for the McLaren and the Toro Rosso. If they're going to think about a lunge, Janji has gone to the inside line, down the inside he goes. Bit of a contact between the two. The arm probably goes up in anger from LCR PT, but it's enough for Janji to get on through, and the Shazoo member is into P3. The Team LCR member down to P4 in this one. Bottas passing F1 Gravity's AI car, but further down into P11 he goes on the hard tyres. Of course, there's only now there's 4 drivers currently on the hards. Bottas alongside KJ, his teammate as well. When Wastel finally gets past Troll into P9, he's done a good start so far. Let's have a look at the position changes off the line. So you can see Janji up from 6th, PT up from 5th. Vapid, of course, got passed by Petey, so he's down to 4th. Meanwhile, here goes Janji, sorry, on Pred, down towards 1 and 2. Round the outside goes the Italian, on the Italian, a bit of Italian action, through towards turn 3 they come. Janji against Pred, incredible stuff between the two. The Racing Point defending the inside line, down towards 4, but round the outside is surely superior. Janji still trying to hold his nerve round the outside, trying to get the proper sort of oversteer there. Probably in 3rd gear, through towards turn number 5 they come. Down the inside, and Janji, look, incredible move there. Mad respect between one another shown, and Pred down to 3rd. Janji into 2nd, begin to set his sight on the race leader in Jolly. 2.2 seconds separate them, but there is a real train forming here. You've got Janji, Pred, Petey, Vapid and Paraquix all within a second of one another, and we're only on lap 5 of 33 here. We've been sport to rotten here today, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying this just as much as I am in the first few laps. We've got an immense train for P2, and we've got an absolutely walloping championship potentially leader here today, with KJ down in 13th now at the moment, and Jolly leading the way at the front of the field. It's enough by much for Jolly to take the lead. We currently would go up to a whopping 17 points, I think, between the two, but that's only at the moment. There's still plenty of racing left to be done as lap 6 begins now, as Janji is closing that gap down to Jolly. Gap 2 seconds exactly now as the cars flying down. Is anyone going to try an opportunity? No one really close enough. Pred is sticking to Janji though, so a little bit of fight up here. So might try and sort of using the catapult one towards Jolly is the Racing Point, and give himself another opportunity to take that later, because they had a brilliant safety car restart. Jolly did not, but done enough to hold the lead, because it was probably through one of the worst sections anyway, as they now file out towards turn 4, now to 5, as halfway through lap 6 they come. Paraquix really let on the brakes, so he went on board with him. He was right on the back of Vapid by the end of that. Vapid probably needs a new colour of underpants, because that's definitely not going to be yellow anymore. Right on the back of him, very nearly went straight into him. Through towards 9 they come. Janji still able to hold it just about. Pred, let's try and keep with it. The two DRS are in favour of Pred. Through the corners, Janji just continues to get away, and won't go long before he calls out that second. Janji now 1.6 seconds behind Jolly for the race lead. Meanwhile, Bottas has passed Troll through towards turn number 10. The Haas shouldn't really have an answer, no offence to Troll, but he hasn't really got the pace of ILR Bottas, and Bottas now into 10th, Troll down to 11th. A good chance for him to get some redemption here today. He's not really had a good season at all. Has ILR Bottas. He sits down in 13th, only 7 points to his name, while his teammate has brought home 70 for his team. F1 Gravity back in, so that's good to see him get back in, but he has lost significant time in this one. Meanwhile, here comes Vapid on Petey down towards 1. Petey does not have DRS. Pred has got out of that window and done just about enough. KJ passing Gravity's AI should be back in very shortly. We see yellow flags, we know that's most likely what it's for. Through towards 4, Vapid is sort of closing up here on LCR Pit. Of course, we've got a proper bit of team scrap here. So the lead is Shazoo, as is second. Then you've got the Alien Motorsport team in 3rd, Team LCR in 4th, and then you've got Bossman Gaming in 5th. Incredible stuff, really. You see that 4 different esports teams being represented within the top 5 at the moment. On with Vapid, the Bossman Gaming member in P5, right on the back of Team LCR member. Unsurprisingly, LCR Pit. The clue is in the name. Round 9, down towards 10. He's got the DRS open. Pred has dropped out of DRS to Janji, and Vapid a little bit to the inside by. Never going to be quite on, and not quite close enough just yet. But Paraquix probably thinking about himself behind as well. He's got an opportunity to try and have a little bit of a go here, as meanwhile, back up towards the leaders, and Janji might be very close to being under a second here. Gap 1 second exactly. He continues to come down. 9/10 now between himself and Jolly, and he now should have the DRS, and yep, open it goes for the Italian. And this is the opportunity back for 21.3. Let's just have a look at the comparison of fastest lap there. 21.9 for Jolly, 21.3 for Janji. As here goes Vapid roll on the inside line of Petey down towards turn 1. Bossman Game against Team LCR. Side by side they go through towards turn 1. Petey on the outside defends through towards 2. The multiple line corner of turn 3 might be good enough for Vapid. Down we go. He's still right on the back of the Toro Rosso. Can't quite find the way past in the end. Has no choice but to concede defeat. Paraquix now goes to the inside and outside, trying to find a way past Vapid and take an ultimate response. Not enough for him to hold on we go. But here goes Vapid again down towards turn 5. Along with Paraquix at the back of this train. He had a little look, but never going to be quite on. But up towards the leaders. Look at how close Janji is on Jolly. Up through towards turns 7 and 8 now. Towards turn 9. Down towards the second DRS. And we're actually a change for the lead, despite the fact Jolly has absolutely dominated everything he's done so far in the past 2 weeks at WXL. He's under pressure here from F1 Janji behind. Not close enough just yet to try the move. Maybe down towards turn 1. Vapid and Paraquix also got the DRS on PT. Not able to quite find the way past just yet, but for them. But of course, Vapid is knocking on the door at the moment. And here comes Janji on Jolly through towards the final chicane. Skips across nicely. A bit of oversteer there for the Italian. That might cost an opportunity. That will go down towards turn 1. Paraquix is also right on the back of Vapid in the background. We'll have to wait and see. It's down towards 1 they come. Janji is closing and closing. He's going to try a lunge. Not close enough to really compensate the lunge. What about Paraquix to Vapid as the yellow favourite set through? Sparshot has gone out of the lobby, has gone out the race side, around the outside as Paraquix on Vapid. The Scotsman against the Dutchman. Not enough for Enola. We're going down towards Frida. Still going to try and battle it out heavily. And in the end, Paraquix got massively deep and gone onto the runoff and very nearly could have seen himself wishing it was the end of the Grand Prix. There's no sign of a safety car. The yellow flag still waving, however, at the section where Sparshot has been. But we have no idea where it is because we weren't on board with him when he went out of the lobby. We'll wait to see where it is. But we're still on with the battle here between Janji and Jolly. Yellow flag now cleared, wherever it may be. It has been resolved. Down towards 9 they come. Down the second DRS straight once again. Both men are fairly okay exit. In fact, probably Jolly that got the better exit of the two. Thanks to the very minimal DRS straight we actually have. Janji nowhere near to really have a little go and a move just yet. So I'll move further down the line between Paraquix, Vapid and PT as well. Adam Lee also got Dasher right ahead of him. KJ looking to try to find a way past Shoulder. Might do it very shortly. Indeed, no offence. But again, KJ, not really someone Troll is usually battling with. But down towards 1. Here they come once again. It's a better exit this time from Janji. And he's got the DRS open. Here he comes for the swap of the race. The first time the race will change this entire weekend. Around the outside goes F1 Janji. Down towards 1 and 2. Can the McLaren do it under the brakes? Johnny will try and make it late as he can. Will he make contact? Not just about. And Janji moves right around the outside for him and takes the race lead. And for how long can he hold it? He might just get away almost an instantaneous second, because into the race lead goes Janji. Jolly down a second. He had no answer for him whatsoever, and KJ also finds a way past Troll into P11. So now the two Mercedes begin to make their way up through the field. Bottas 10th, KJ in 11th, of course. But I have to remember Bottas' first race without line, but still has an opportunity to put a bit of a sort of good result here. But PT is a bit deep at 5, and Vapid through towards the kink at 6. Close enough to be able to go just yet. Jolly is beginning to drop away as he still gets away from Pred, but is dropping back from Janji. So Janji is without doubt in his own class so far. The DRS is still able to hold on to the back of the McLaren, but we're not too far away from pit stops, I suspect. When he's to the halfway point, it's about lap 16, 17, and these guys are on mediums. They're going to go on to hards. We're going to see a stop very shortly. Gap between the hard runners and the leader is 17 seconds, so they could be held up here if they decide to make an undercut. None of them pit this lap, as to be expected. Obviously, Fred dart it in, or he's going to stay out. PT also does the same, but Janji has well and truly put a stamp on the front. He's gone fastest of all ever, 21.1 for the McLaren, and what an insane drive so far. So we're not quite done yet, is the McLaren, but down to 1, here goes Paraquix on Vapid, down towards 1, he has a little look to the inside, not beyond, wasting more, finds a way past Adam Lee, into P8 goes to McLaren. They start at the back of the field, of course, so far as you can see by position changes, and meanwhile here goes KJ on Bottas and the Mercedes. The team orders there between the two, so maybe Bottas thinking, well, I haven't got line on. KJ is well and truly used to that fact. He's going to let him go into 10th, 1 point goes KJ Game. On lap 11 of 33 here, in the first 11 laps, you haven't watched them, go back and watch them. They have without doubt been an absolute staple point of league racing, full stop. But meanwhile, PT has heavily caught up to AMS Pred here, through towards 9, out towards 10. The man who started on the front row against the man who started in P5 for this one is now in a battle for P3. Pred is right under hindrance here through towards 10. Now towards 11 and 12 goes the Toro Rosso, and now we've got a really big 4-car train potentially going to form between Pred, PT, Vapid Coot and Paraquix. Through towards the final couple of corners they come. Pete's a bit of a lock up there, that might cost him time. Through towards the final chicane though, so what about the exit out of here to the opportunity down towards 1 and 2. Good exit from the pair of them. Through towards the Catalonia corner. Onto the curve goes Petey. Lock up. Real big mistake there. Paraquix goes in. Vapid takes full advantage of Petey's mistake. And that one and truly just cost him a real opportunity to have a go at Pred. Down towards one though. He's got a really good straight line speed. Round the outside. Goes LCR Petey on Vapid to get the redemption of what just happened out of 16. Down towards 1 and 2. Down the inside goes Petey on Vapid. Not enough for him to have a little bit of a go. And in the end, Vapid holds on to P4 and allows Pred a little bit more breathing space. Adam Lee also come in there, so his teammate didn't come in, but he did. Paraquix is going to come out in some clean air. Everyone grabs his AI, not going to be a hindrance at all. And out of the pits comes Paraquix. A good outlap here, and he could undercut them. You never quite know in this one, so that's crucial news that Paraquix has decided to go for the undercut. Sounds like Adam Lee, he might potentially try and get a jump on Waster was doing as well, because those two were in a bit of a battle earlier in the race as well. Round towards 9, DRS goes open for Vapid and Petey. Petey though closing up on Vapid. He might try an opportunity, gets right on the back of the man. The boss man game and representative, and still not able to quite find a way for us. Now clock towards 11 and 12, still closing and closing for the Renault. Is still looking weak, and the Toro looks much stronger at the moment, but they both look quicker than Pred. Well, any of the leaders coming to the pits, neither of them do any of the guys behind them. Pred comes in, Vapid comes in, Petey opts to stay out, so maybe his teammate's going to come in. No, he stays out as well, so the Toro's thinking the long game here, but it's a battle of the pit crews between Racing Point and Renault. Ferrari also in behind, which is wasted. In comes Vapid first for his fresh set of tyres. In comes Pred, a bit of a slow one for them. Pred's still in the pits and he's been held. No, he hasn't, sorry. It was lag, and in the end, Pred is still ahead of Vapid. The gap just too much, and Waster going to come safely out of the pits. Will he come out ahead of Adam Lee, though, is the question. Down towards 1. It still won't quite. Meanwhile, sorry, Paraquix has got past Vapid here. A real good opportunity for the one-lap undercut for the Red Bull driver, and Paraquix into 9th, but will become, of course, a net P, potentially 4, if not 5. And, well, that now sees Vapid have to do all the hard work once again, thanks for a brilliant undercut. But also means, what about Petey? Because an undercut could come crucial. See if any of the leaders do pit. We're on board with Janji now, as we're not really on board because he's got the stupid rev glitch. Now towards the final couple of corners comes the Italian, and let's see whether he comes in, and let's watch, see what the race leader does. He's not going to come in on this lap. Jolly does the same. He's going to follow whatever Janji does. Petey, will he come in now? Will he respond to what he's seen around him? An overcut time and put in the chat. In comes Petey for his pit stop. Very slow pit entrance, doesn't want to make sure he gets a penalty. Dash, of course, has no choice but to stay out and will enter P3, and this one as the annoying alarm goes on to let people know they're coming into the pits. Yep, we heard you loud and clear. What about Troll? He's going to stay out as well. Here comes Pred. Let's go on board with him first and foremost, because he's the first one in this train. He gets a massive tank saver out of turn 16. Exactly the same as what LCR Petey did down towards turn 1. Here, where is Petey? He's only just hit the pit limit line, and he is going to come out behind all of these men. But here goes Paraquix on the outside line. Pred down towards turn 1. They'll take the advantage, the opportunities for Paraquix. Round the outside through towards turn 2. Leaves in the room, just about through towards 3. An incredible duel between the two. Now up towards 4. Paraquix now got the inside line due to the switchback. Could be on. Is he going to have a try at the lunge? He's not close enough and very much loses the opportunity. But through towards 5, he very much kissed the back of Pred. Through towards 5, then round the outside goes Paraquix. Down the inside goes Pred on the defence and just about manages to hold it. But then D through towards 6, he's still on the inside line. He's still got just about a front wing in there. Not enough for Paraquix to hold it though. Pred holds on to P7 and net P3, but a real sign of a mistake there. And indeed manages to hold on, but down towards turn 10 they come as both leaders are into the pits, by the way. A little bit of an update towards the front. Indeed, 2.7 seconds separate the Williams and the McLaren. Janji got held a bit here. Gets the fresh tyres on. And he has just a little bit. It hasn't been too much. What about Jolly? Out of the pits he comes now. KJ, of course, will take the race lead in this one. He holds on to it. Janji and Jolly now come out of the pits. Where is Bottas? He's fallen down towards turn 1. And he actually splits Jolly and Janji. Crucial news here today. They have swapped. Dasher into the pits as Jolly gets a time penalty as well. That's not going to help his cause. While Paraquix has gone to the outside and takes full advantage of Pred there through towards turns 1 and 2. Good move there by the Dutchman. We don't really try to see it, so my apologies to be focusing on the gaps between the leaders, and Paraquix now ahead of this train. Fortunately, you have to say that undercut has worked to perfection for the Red Bull so far. We've got 1 lap more worn tyres, so they're going to come crucial to him later in the race. We have to wait and see. He's got 2 lap more worn than Petey, 3 lap more than Dashes, and he's just come out of the pitch, but he's 3.6 and running got Wastel right on the back of him as well for P9 in this one. So we've got to see pit stops though from Bottas and from Jolly, and speaking of which, Bottas has let Jolly go into P3 there. So now Jolly got to get the hammer down to try and see if he can't try and close up towards Janji in the race lead. 2.3 seconds separate them between the two. Bottas then gets a time penalty as well. That's not going to help his cause in this one at the moment. 3 seconds separate Janji and KJ as well. But on this 4-way train featuring Paraquix, MS Pred, Vapid, Coop and PT, this battle can continue for a long time. And I think everyone, including myself, absolutely love for it too. He's out towards 16, down towards 1 and 2. All of them get the DRS open, other of course than Paraquix, who doesn't have it. Here goes PT, however, on Vapid. He's the closest of them all. He's going to go to the outside line. Has he got the nerve under the brakes? Not quite, Pred, not quite close enough to have a go on Paraquix just yet either. So far, an absolutely enthralling race that now sees Pred might have opportunity through towards 3, but he's still not quite close enough really at the moment. This battle is for, of course, the final podium place at the moment. Current 4-way train. Once all the pit stops come in, that will be how it looks. When my troll is battling away with Adam Lee here for P11. Good to see battling still outside the points. No one giving up, despite the fact that they are battling for no point scoring position. As Bramson coming in saying it was an absolute masterclass from me. Not lost any positions, but he probably could have gained some judging by the battle. And that still is a Jeff call that we have to wait and see if it will pay off as they continue to close it towards Paraquix. No one going for the move through towards 10. Close enough to really hold it as we go. KJ now leads the way by 2.3 seconds over Janji. Of course, KJ is on the hards. He started in P7. He went down to stone dead last after spinning at turn 16. Speaking of which, Janji's gone fast. He's 21-0 for the McLaren, and he's beginning to take the mick a bit. An absolute step above Jolly so far. Out of 16, down towards 1 and 2 they come. In this 4-way train we've got here. Paraquix, Pred, Vapid and PT. And someone is off at sector 3, and it's Adam Lee at turn 12. He has gone off on the exit, and that's surely not at all what he wants to see. The Jupiter Racing team member is not going to be happy with that one. He's now lost his potential. That's down towards turn 3 and turn 4. As yes, you are right, Peter did actually lose positions in that one, but this battle is so close, it's hard to really notice who has lost position, who gained, because everyone still remains the same. Another yellow flag in sector 3, and it's Adam Lee again who's binned it on his way into the pits. That's not good news at all for him. Hasn't retired, he's got no front wing. Now he's retired from the session. Will we see a safety car potentially? Depends where his car decides to park. But we are now down to 12 because we have lost F1 Gravity to an AI issue, a connection issue, I believe. That's caused him to do that. Meanwhile, KJ is now 1.6 seconds clear of Janji. And Janji is going to want him to get a move on here. If KJ holds him, it's for Jolly. We have to wait and see. Jolly 3.3 seconds behind Janji now. He's been lapping consistently slower, but there's no surprise because Janji so far has been in a league of his own. Eventually become a 2-time race winner this season. Most iconically, the move at Mexico back in season 1. Always seems to reference that one of my favourite moves in the league race, a double overtake down towards turn 4. That was without doubt iconic for the McLaren. Now here today, representing the Orange Papaya team, I'm hoping to do even more after qualifying right down in P6. What was on the front row of the F2 qualifying. On lap 18 of 33, we're well past the halfway point now in this one, and we've got a race that is still continuing to form here between a 4-way train, which is still looking very multicoloured, which is just the way As my apologies for the brief pause to take a quick drink. Doing comms by yourself for now an hour straight is not easy to do, let me tell you that much. Out of turn 9 goes Pred. He gets a massive tank slapper. Somehow, he's kept that car on the track. I have absolutely no idea how he's managed that, but he's kept the car on the track. That is ridiculous to think. Round towards 12, and meanwhile into the pits comes KJ on lap 18. He's decided enough is enough for them hards. Onto the mediums he will go. Let's see how he gets on in the pits. comes out nice. Let's see where he files out as well with regards to everyone. Meanwhile, here goes Vapid, on Pred, down towards 1. He's got DRS, as of course has Pred. You just see KJ's car going very slowly on the exit. That Dasher, he's going to get past Waystal as well as KJ gets up to speed. As you can see, the battle for filing on away. KJ is side by side with Waystal down towards turns 1 and 2. Old team rivals from season 3 with Williams and Mercedes. This time it's Mercedes and Ferrari. KJ manages to find a way past Waystal instantly and needs to get the hammer down here because the gap ahead are only 4 seconds to this train here for P3 this will become. He's still been an outside shot of getting a podium here. This battle, I'm not going to let up easily. Vapid still on the back of Pred. Paraquix continues to try and get away just a little bit more. Towards 9 they come in a 4-way train for the 19th lap of this Grand Prix. Once again, all of them take a fairly conservative, I think, judging by it, without a doubt, that Pred is looking a little bit shaky after that turn 9 moment. He needs to get his composure back, get back going once again in this one. Let's just see when we see Bottas come in. Will he come in this lap? We got 4.1 now between Jolly and Janji. Yes, he will. And speaking of which, Janji also went fastest for 20.8 for the McLaren driver. Now 4.1 seconds, as I mentioned, in the race lead. But into the bits comes Bottas. So now genuine positions for all of these drivers. Indeed. So as you can see, it now remains the same with Jolly in second, Paraquix third, Pred in fourth, Vapid fifth, LCRPT in sixth with Dasher. Now just being passed by his old season one rival, the P7 goes KJ, and now 3 seconds behind the train ahead of him. Still is a very good opportunity for KJ to salvage a podium in this one. We've got just about 13 and a bit laps to go in this one. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Who have you thought so far as a driver of the day candidate? Who so far, you have to say, has been outstanding. In my opinion, you can't go any further than Janji. The fact that he has just caught up to the rest of the field, passed all of them, and then got past Jolly even though he had a massive lead, runs really shows that he has been in a class of his own here today. Pred gets a bit of oversteer out of 9, but that in actual fact kind of worked into his favour. Not the first time Pred has slid, and it's worked in his favour. He's down towards 10. You can just see there is KJ in the background, gap 2.2 seconds between himself and PT. And I'm sure alarm bells are ringing for all of these guys here thinking, KJ's right behind us and he's on fresh, soft. We've now done 1 lap on them. These guys are now doing 6, 7 and 8 laps respectively on their hard compound tyres. So you need to worry, is this going to blow out of proportion? But down towards turn 1 they come. Pred is going to have the DRS on Paraquix. Vapid has got DRS on Pred, and PT got DRS on Vapid as well. But we've got an opportunity here for PT to let it go on Vapid. Still not close enough just yet. Predacles still sticking within arm's reach of Paraquix, probably waiting very patiently for the leader of this train to make a bit of a mistake. Waystal got a time penalty as well. Let's just have a brief moment. Time penalty, if we shall. Janji has no penalty. Jolly, I think I did see get one, as I just saw a bit of a weave there in the background. Yes, Jolly has one. Paraquix doesn't even have a warning. He's scot-free. Pred, exactly the same. Vapid got 1 warning, and PT has 1 warning, with KJ having a penalty as well. So that could hinder him in this one. Out towards 9 they come. They all get a steady eddy. Towards turn number 10 they come. Now you can just see KJ is within DRS range of LCR PT. Another esports member to add to this train with Alien Motorsport, Bossman Gaming, Team LCR, and now Shazoo, all involved in this train. We're missing VSR. I think that's really the big one we're missing. Of course, no Veloce. Who needs Veloce when you've got Bossman Gaming? On to lap 23 we go, though, as I know there's only a joke. But here goes Vapid on front. Almost a little bit. Very soon. Down towards 1 and 2. The DRS was all open for them, so there's no real, in actual fact, gaining being happened. Everyone's just sort of moving a big conga line forward as Jolly is now 8.3 seconds behind Janji. Speaking of being right behind, here go KJ on PT down towards turn 4. Down the inside goes the season 2-time WXL champion and the current championship leader for a salvage race. First things first in the Toro Rosso of PT. Has he got enough time to run outside? PT probably thinking, well, if I let him go, Vapid battles him. That was an opportunity for me to try and find a way past. But now, KJ in the 6th, PT down to 7th alongside his teammate in 8th. Currently on for an all-points finish for the both Toro Rossos, which would be a good consistent day. He's one of the steady eddies of WXL. is still in the racing pizza. Next up on KJ's hit list is Vapid Coupe, down towards turn 10. He closes and closes, not going to be close enough for a lunge just yet. Still through towards turns 11 and 12 respectively. Still nowhere near to truly try an opportunity to move. It's now train of 5 cars. Within this one, KJ really aggressive through towards turn number 14, I believe that is. Turn 13, sorry. Now out of 16 down the DRS straight, or start finish straight, and here comes KJ on Vapid. Will he try and move towards 1 and 2? He is closing. Is he going to have a move? Yes, he goes to the inside line, does the Mercedes. Down the inside goes KJ again on Vapid, straight away, cuts off Vapid, saying no chance of a lunge there, sunshine. KJ now in the 5th. And next up on his hit list, AMS Pred in P4 and then Paraquix P3. Before you know it, he's then got to hunt down Jolly in P2, his old championship rival. Despite all this, Jolly might not even take the championship lead here today. Despite all that has happened, KJ is looking absolutely superbly at the moment. So another championship driver there has to go to KJ Gamer for his absolutely meteoric rise, heroic stuff so far. We've still got about 10 and a bit laps to go left of this Spanish Grand Prix, which I promise to be an iconic one, and one and truly has been to prove that. Yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not too sure who that is for. Cleared up whatever it may be. No one lost the position, so whether there's just some debris or something, we're not too sure. Turn 11 and 12, we're on board with KJ here on the back of AMS Pred. New member, of course, of Alien Motorsport, only from pen to paper just a couple of days ago, and now KJ, of course, the veteran of Shazoo, looking to try and find a way past against the Racing Point. Out of turn 15 towards 16 they come. DRS both goes open for them. It's KJ in the close and really trying. Paraquix goes to the inside of trying to break the deception. They all follow through, of course. But Pred is closing up here on Paraquix. He goes to the outside line for an opportunistic move. Round the outside goes Pred. He's been waiting for so long. Contact between the two. Paraquix goes round. Crucial news here. The Dutchman has gone off turn 1, and that surely presents an opportunity now for KJ. So we'll go at Pred for P3, but he's gained a second as a result. Paraquix gets back going now, and look at how close this battle is. Just to reiterate, he's now gone down to P8. He was sitting in P3. Massive controversy, bit of contact, and that surely will be investigated afterwards in towards the stewards room. Pred up to 3rd, Paraquix down to 8th. Really what you want to see here today. Into lap 24 of 33 here, and now KJ's got to get his nerve back and try and find a way past Pred once again. As he's looking to have him down towards 1 and 2, but Pred saw the opportunity on Paraquix and took it, and sadly it led to contact. I'm going to opinionate on whose fault it was. We only see it once via the screen that I get to see. But round towards 12 and out down the hill towards 13 and towards its section. KJ's right on the back of Pred. He's still looking for the opportunity to do it through towards the chicane and trying to get a good exit out of this chicane. And good exit from Pred, you have to say. Out of the two, he was far superior. But hasn't got enough to hold it because it was enough DRS now. This is the first time in about 10 laps, probably even 11 laps. Pred does not have DRS, but here goes KJ, and here also goes PT on Vapid. Round the outside for the podium goes KJ Gamer. Can he do it? Yes, he can. What about PT on Vapid? Yes, he can as well. And 2 moves in the exact same corner. PT up to 5th, KJ up to 3rd. Pred just had no answer for him on them hards. And now KJ will begin to set his sights at potentially nicking away P2 from Jolly. If he can get him in 3 seconds, he's into that P2 spot, and what a comeback that would be for the Mercedes driver. I thought surely at the end of qualifying, Jolly was going to do a quadruple in terms of winning Azerbaijan F2 qualifying race, winning the F1 race at Azerbaijan, then coming here, winning the F2 race in that, and then winning as well in F1. But meanwhile, Troll has gone off at turn 2, and that's disaster for the Haas, and we're down to 11. RT1 outside the points now. The Racing Point alongside his teammate is currently up in 4th. And that's really not good news at all for Haas. What looked to be both drivers here, 16-man grid, they could have brought some points home. Instead, Gunther Steiner is going to be absolutely livid, probably calling them a bunch of, well, I'm not going to repeat the sentence, between the two. And meanwhile, Pred snaps the back end at turn 16. It's Rapid meanwhile. It's dropping it back to Petey, but has still the DRS, which has been rather the talking point of this Grand Prix. DRS. We've got to truly kept a lot of drivers within the mix of one another. And probably we explain that we haven't had a bit of a dull race. We've had action throughout. Even if the drivers have been close to one another, it's been exciting to see with nothing more than a fag paper to split them. We're on lap number 26 of 33, and we're 18 seconds to the man in P3. Janji with 11 seconds good at the front of the field, and probably wondering what he's going to have for dinner at the moment, because he's absolutely dominating. And what he's going to wake up to breakfast tomorrow, a big hearty bowl of cereal that says, "I won the league last night." Janji leads, Jolly second, KJ third. The top three of the championship all sit in the top three in the race as well. As Artie's into the pits for the racing point. Let's see what tyres he decides to go on. Unsurprisingly, it's the red walled softs for him. But yeah, now's the time really to get talking about your driver of the day for us, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think has been the absolute stellar turn of this one? I'm on board with the man that I think it was, F1 Janji, as he flies down towards turn one with a helicopter looking over, and there is Artie as well, who's just come out the pits just ahead of him. He's going to be lapped very shortly, I suspect. As well, fair play to KJ for a brilliant comeback as well. Jolly as well, you have to say, he's been a steady Eddie all race. Even likes to vapid after a brilliant qualifying, just get himself in a P4. The only man who has not changed position this entire Grand Prix is PT in fifth now. He still sits where he qualified, and 10 points would probably be safe for the Team LCR driver. I would say, as a Team LCR representative, I would say I'd take that from LCR PC here today. P5 is a sterling job, all things given. But we've got to watch out for the gap here between KJ and Jolly. Gap 6.5 seconds at the moment. And of course, if that gets under 3, so if that comes under by 3.5 seconds in the next 6 laps or so, KJ will take away P2, and unbelievably in this one will also mean KJ is going to hold on to his challenge lead regardless of if he passes Jolly or not. Gap was 8 points into this. It will go down to 5 at the moment. It will go up to 11 if he can do the unthinkable. You have to say it really wasn't looking cards for KJ. It was looking all on the cards for Jolly, and then the pace of Janji was just far too much. And KJ is now on the back of him as well. 6 between the two, and well, KJ is going to start struggling with tyre wear on them tyres, so it might be mission impossible. It might even allow Pred to close back up. We don't quite know. There are a lot of questions left to be answered as they now begin lap 28 of 33. One more battle here between PT and Vapid that was originally a four-way train has now funneled down just a two-man thanks to Paraquix going off with instant of Pred. Speaking of which, here goes Paraquix on Dasher down towards one, round the outside goes the Red Bull. The two sister teams very nearly come together under the brakes because the Alien Motorsport team has got enough to defend down the inside for Dasher. Not enough and through towards 2 is right on the back end there, sniffing the back of Paraquix through towards turn 3, the long turn 3 gets on the curl, it gets onto the runoff. Dasher not able to find a way past and have a bit of a response back for Paraquix. So now Dasher down to 8th, Paraquix up to 7th, and 4.2 seconds behind his old rivals that runs a battle with PT and Vapid at the moment as well. Now come up towards turn number 9 in this battle between PT and Vapid, and this is the point where you can lose a bit of concentration. You're still battling heavily for P5, and you begin to sort of show a little lapse in concentration, and before you know it, you've lost the position for good. So Vapid got to keep his nerve, so has PT as well. I hope Bronson's telling him all the useful data I'm providing him with as well. To his team as well. And Wastel have left the session here on lap 29. Maybe a disconnect. Now I'm going to do a bit of my own, and I'm going to try and invite him to the game. Back in. A bit of initiative here because we have a brief moment. I couldn't invite Gravity because we were too busy. I do apologise to him. He gets back in there. But we've got 5 laps left to be done of this Spanish Grand Prix, and surely F1 Janji is on his way to claiming his second victory of the season, and will close up potentially to Jolly to only 12 points between them two, and currently could be so much as 9 points to forget I oversaid that. It could be 17 between the top 3 in the championship heading into Monaco next time round, which of course could be a revelation, where of course we saw in another league of the console, WXL, where KJ Gamer DNF at the Monte Carlo Grand Prix, which caused all sorts of controversy and really opened up an opportunity for the other drivers. So sign of weakness maybe from KJ, but that was one Grand Prix, and one Grand Prix is always different to another. You never know what to expect in this one. As well, Team Shizou coming to the chat. Team Shizou 1, 2, 3, let's go. Fair play to the Shizou members. They've absolutely put out a balancing course in this league. Who's partnered with Shizou Esports. They've absolutely done a bit with this one. 3 absolutely sterling recruitments. A man that was signed 6 minutes before the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here in WXL. Jolly sits in second. Janji, of course, another pretty veteran of the Shizou team in first, and KJ currently holding down P3 with now 4 laps left to be done in this one. Through towards turn number 5 for the race leader for what will be the 30th time in this one, and of course hasn't had it all his own way. He's had to really get his elbows out, and a commendable drive. Really have to say, a potential champion's drive from the McLaren driver. As through towards 9 he comes. Absolutely superb. He's also got DRS, thanks to being behind Artie, who is being blue flagged, probably quite heavily at the moment. Still not quite close enough. Well, let's go hang back to another esports battle here between Team LCR and Team Bossman Gaming. Yes, that is a team name. Very funny one. Round towards turn number 9, they come, and he's still right on the back. Once again, Vapid. It's been a race of what if Vapid could really have to say. Qualifying high, could have done well, wasn't enough for him to quite have a go just yet through towards 10. But on to lap 31 goes Janji as he laps Alpha Right. And also a bit of a weave. We'll say thanks so much for that one. As Troll now rejoins the lobby for some reason. He's out of the session, but is back in at lap 31 or 33 for the race leader. Meanwhile, sorry to say, but KJ goes fastest 20.1 towards the end of the session. Another 20.1, I believe. First of the day. 20.2 set by Janji. 21.1 by Fred. So 21.2 is the closest, a 10th off. But here goes Vapid on Pete. He ran the outside towards 1 and 2. Long way round for the Bossman Gamer. Man, can he do it on the Team LCR member? Torosso against Renault. Incredible bit of battle here through towards turn number 4. Side by side they go up towards turn number 4. Still close between the two. Round the outside goes the Scotsman. Has he got the nerve? Pete tries to break and lanes across began. Bit of a sort of wheel banger between the two as they now come out towards turn number 5. A switch back for Vapid. Not enough. And in the end, he manages to hold on. Meanwhile, Janji's off. Janji is off at turn 9. Incredible news. The race leader has binned it. And Jolly takes the race lead. Unbelievable scenes towards the end of this Grand Prix. I do not quite believe what I have just seen. F1 Janji on lap 31 and 33 is off at turn number 9. KJ nearly runs into the back of him. It is absolutely disaster scenes for the Italian driver. KJ goes straight down the inside. Unbelievable scenes. F1 Janji, who we've been praising from lap 8 to lap 32, has made the most uncharacteristic mistake in a long while. And surely Jolly, with 2 laps to go, is probably believing there is God watching down on him here today. Jolly leads the way with 2 laps to go. Finally, the pole sitter might have enough to grab the victory. Janji is suffering from heavy front wing damage. Will AMS Pred take the 1-2-3 away from Shizou? He is retired from the session, and Pred goes past into 3rd. PT up to 4th. Vapid into 5th. It is absolutely disaster for the Team Shizou member, and surely with 2 laps to go, Jolly has had the steal of the century. Jolly into 1st, KJ down the 2nd. Sorry, up to 3rd, Pred into 3rd, so I should say. KJ in the 2nd, 2 laps to go. I do not believe what I've just seen. It is absolutely disastrous. It is really not what you expect to see at all. It's an absolutely rare mistake. It will now see the championship come down to a single point between the 2 Team Shizou members. Jolly begins the final lap. He qualified on pole. He was my favourite to win the race. But boy oh boy, from lap 9 right till now, I did not expect him to be in this position, because Janji was on another level. Jolly was in his own league, but Janji was 1 step above him all the way from the beginning. But onto the final lap goes the Williams, and surely is on his way to claiming what without doubt be one of the most memorable victories he will have, for all the wrong reasons. Dasher gets a late 3 second time. I think that pretty much holds Paraquins in a P6 as well. They all bump up a position because, of course, he was the race leader. So Artie will now score a point thanks to that. He'll probably be delighted about that. He'll still get a double points finish for Racing Point, double points finish for Mercedes as well, alongside. We're also going to see double points for Toro Rosso. But onto the final sector comes the Williams driver. And well, this man is someone to watch out for the title. But today, he has been second best to F1 Janji. There is no doubt in my mind about that. I'm sure he won't even mind me saying that. But on to the final couple of corners, he now finds himself in the race lead towards the final chicane, in without a doubt one of the most unusual ways for him to take a victory. 2 laps to go, he thought he was second, but on the final lap, Jolly will be first. He wins the Spanish Grand Prix with KJ, the monumental comeback, comes home in P2. He will be absolutely ecstatic about that, and Pred is going to bring home a surprise podium in the end. P3 for AMS Pred, P4 for LCR PT, P5 for Vapid, P6 for Paraquix, 7th for Dasher, 8th in the end for Wastel. And the other Shazoo member, ILR Bottas, will come home 9th, and Alfarati will surely come home with the lone point. And Spain has well and truly produced a really, really bizarre end for us here today. But Jolly takes the checkered flag in the end by 6.1 seconds after absolute disaster for the McLaren. Artian is going to take his time to come home in P10, and fair play to him, he stuck it out and going to bring home the point. But there is your man who has now got the championship down to a singular point between the two Shazoo members, Jolly against KJ. Pred will be absolutely ecstatic. The first points he brings home in his debut, of course, this season actually, is 15 points to his tally. Peter will also be happy that he also continues and actually jumps into the top 3 in the championship thanks to the 12 points here today. And well, we just await for the podium to come out, and well, I guarantee 2 of them, all 3 of them probably didn't expect to see themselves on that step. But Jolly takes the checkered flag after now concluding a quadruple in the last 2 weeks, winning the F2 qualifying races both weeks and now winning the Formula 1 races as well. 2 from 2 for the Williams. KJ in the end has to settle for P2, the same as he did last week, and a new podium sitter in AMS Pred in P3. Let's bring the guys in to give us their thoughts after that brilliant Spanish Grand Prix. Driver of the day, I'm going to give to KJ after his brilliant comeback into this one, and fair play. But here we have all 3 drivers in to the party. So as per usual, we'll start with the race winner and we'll get this underway thick and fast, because as you can tell, my voice is slowly but surely beginning to go. We'll start off with the race winner. Jolly, first things first, my friend, you probably didn't expect to be first of these podium interviews, because up until from lap 8 till about lap 32, Janji had it in his hands.
Well, yeah, I went and I muted my mic in the party with Fred and Trolls, and I said halfway through the race I'm just going to have to settle for second, because I made 2 slightly costly errors. I lost about 4 seconds in a lap, and I thought I might as well just keep it on the road and play for a safe second place, but don't know what happened with Janji, but yeah, I somehow looked into a win.
Well, I'm sure you might know this from the commentary, but you're on the quadruple now. You've taken on the F2 races 2 weeks in a row, and the F1 races 2 weeks in a row. You must be on... What are you eating for breakfast, son? Because I want what you're having.
I had wheat bix this morning, actually. Bit of sugar on top. That might be the key, but no, I feel, to be honest, at the minute I'm feeling more comfortable in the F2 cars, especially around Spain. In Baku not so much, but in Spain I was really confident, and I went over to the F1 cars and I just didn't have the pace, I wasn't feeling it, so I don't know.
Well, 1 point separate yourself and KJ. Everyone else is going to drop a little bit back. I mean, your closest rival is now going to be LCR PT in P3. Is there in particular, other than obviously the obvious like Janji, that you're looking a bit further down the table, you're thinking, not quite had the luck this season? Is there anyone you're thinking you might turn it round as the season goes on?
What do you think? I think obviously the mid pack with Pete and like Pred and that is so tight, and I won't be surprised if there's like a few races in the weeks coming up where they like really challengers because they've got some good pace, to be honest, and I think they just get caught up in battles a few times. So I think Preds, PE, Paraquakes, all them involved in the training in the mid part, like the mid phase of the race was a one to look out for.
Well, yeah, that's definitely true. It's a very good point that the mid-pack is very close, as proven by the race. We have 4-car train for practically about 11 laps. But anyway, final question for you. Obviously, Monaco next week, the pad nightmare, as some people call it. Can we potentially see you get yourself up here again, or is it going to be a bit of an uphill struggle? Excuse me.
If I'm driving a wide bus, then you probably might see me on the podium, but I don't know. I'm not very confident for Monaco. I really do generally hate it. So, yeah, I'll take some points.
Yeah, I mean, well, again, congratulations on the P1. It's not quite what you would expect coming towards the final couple of laps, but it's what you got. So congratulations on the 25 points here today. Moves us along to a man that is without a doubt probably ecstatic that he's had 18 points here today. KJ, surely at that spin at the beginning of the race, you must have thought, I must be battling away for a few points here, because it just looked like mission impossible.
Yeah, I mean, the F2 race and the first 5 laps, I wasn't on it. I just kept making mistakes, and I saw I made that spin. Lucky I didn't get damage off the wall, and it was last like quite a long way. And I thought, yeah, I had the alternate strategy, so I knew the last stint I'd be quick, but I wasn't expecting P2, not at all.
Well, it was P2 that you got, and well, the championship comes down to a singular point between yourself and Jolly. I suppose, same question to you, is there anyone particular you're looking at in sort of mid-pack, lower down, that haven't really had the luck so far, and might potentially come sort of a hindrance to yourself or Jolly in the next couple of rounds?
Genji, judging by today's pace, he was miles ahead, it looked like, until I think he had a screen freeze, that's why he crashed. It was unlucky for him, but yeah, it seems like he could be in for a lot in the future if he doesn't get so unlucky.
Well, you have to be at the bottom sometimes to rise your way back up to get there at some point as well. But final question for you as well. Monaco next week, of course. I don't mean to reference another league, but Teterboro, you had a DNF there. Your thoughts on the Monaco track? Redemption for you potentially?
I mean, I've got a good pace, but I keep hitting the wall or something in the races. You thought I'm Teterboro, I just went too early for New Budget again and lost my whip. So I need to try and cut that out. Obviously I'll try my best. I do like the track, obviously, but I just need to work on my consistency there.
Well, yeah, of course, and well, congratulations on P2. I know obviously it's still championship lead yours for 1 week, potentially 1 point separate you. It's very close at the top, but congratulations on P2 today. Best luck for Monte Carlo as well. Moving along to a man that came home P3 and at one point in the race was battling for P3 genuinely, and is even battling as high as P2. But as the race progressed, it didn't look possible, and then the last few laps, F1 Janji happened. So, Pred, well, first things first, I suppose. I believe your first podium for AMS. Not a bad day.
That was a brilliant day. It was proper hard battles out there. There was a good 4 or 5 car train going into the last 10 or so laps. And I didn't think I was going to make it because the car felt really slidey today. And I had to change the front wing in the first round of pit stops just to try and make the car more stable. So as you saw, I almost dropped it twice going into that second DRS straight. So it was a bit all over the place, but I kept my nerve and just battled on. And then Janji, last 4 laps happened, and I was like, wow, I'm going to get P3. It was a great day. Yeah, first podium for AMS.
That indeed it was, and well, I suppose if you were to have one of them Twitter pages, and then sports pages you see where they're like such and such date they were doing such and such. I mean, to put it in perspective, it was exactly 1 week ago you were in the combox for myself and Tom, and now 1 week later you're going to get a podium in the league you were commentating on. It's quite an incredible rise, but just speaking to you about the championship, of course, you haven't been available in the first few rounds due to wheel issues, but now you're back. after the P3 today, what is your target in the championship? What would satisfy you come the end of Abu Dhabi?
If I can get top 6, that would be good. Like, considering I didn't compete in the first 4 races. For next week in Monaco, I'm hoping for top 6 as well. I'm not strong around there, but I just want to survive. So if I can get top 6 in both, I'll be happy.
Yeah, of course, and you know, I suppose with regards to the team championship, obviously, you know, yourself and Artie just hoping to be sort of the consistent team of the season, really.
Yeah, I saw him getting points, so that's always good for going towards constructors. So hopefully we could get some points on the board.
Well, yeah, of course, and well, congratulations on P3 as well. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Monaco next week, as my mic decided to. They didn't want to work for just a brief second. But thank you guys for watching. As per usual, that will conclude that. Spain is in the books. My voice is absolutely buggered, but I appreciate the support right from the beginning, right up to the end. Of support is always massively appreciated. But see you guys same time, same place for the place they call the Pad Nightmare and the real idea that you cannot truly polish a turd at Monte Carlo. Thank you guys much, and goodbye.